Hi. Hi. Oh my gosh, hi. Like, welcome. This is so exciting. I'm just going to do a very quick intro and then we're actually going to get into it like kind of in a crazy way because actually, okay, no. Hi, like, welcome. This is Getting It Together. I am about to explain so much and you are going to get so much context and it's going to be like really amazing and we're going to connect so deeply. However, I have to be honest, I am doing this like kind of in a fragile state. I did just body a three-piece combo and French fry in maybe 5 minutes. And the true truth of that is that it was either eat that food in that way that I did or cry. And like, to be honest, I don't even know that I'm that far off from crying. So like, I don't know. Like, jury is still out on that, but yeah, we're here. And we're here after, because you guys, and this is really for me. And I want to just start by saying that, like, if anybody finds this, first of all, like, welcome, congratulations. Not even in, not even on no funky shit, but congratulations just because I'm making it in such a way where, like, I think that this is kind of my messaging here is kind of targeted toward a certain group. That group just being people who are young, people who are unemployed, people who are kind of lost, like people who are struggling. So I say congratulations, like kind of jokingly, but also in a way where maybe you'll find a friend in me and in hearing about like my journey and following my journey, and in just this story. And yeah, I don't know, like I'm really doing this to make my like to do something with myself, um and to make my own life just a little bit brighter. So yeah, if you stumble upon it or if you find it or if someone who really loves you, hashtag someone who really loves you bought you this t-shirt, like if someone loves you and they send this to you, then like congrats and welcome. I'm so happy to have you. But like anyway, like back to the chicken, just because seriously, like this shit has me so tremendously fucked up and I don't even know. I have been sitting here for maybe 48 hours straight. I'm at a laptop. I had an initial recording of this episode. Okay, mind you, I had an initial recording of this episode from April. Right. Um, I re-recorded this month because I was like, you know what? Like, let me just re-record. That old messaging doesn't really resonate. Blase, blase, blah. Sure thing. Like, I'm thinking it's cute, it's peachy, it's gravy. The problem is I've never done this before and I'm also just doing it all by myself with $0 and 0 cents, which is another thing that we will get to. Trust. We're going to get to the $0 and 0 cents of it all because that is, I think, a significant aspect of my current character development that I'm like undergoing. However, yeah, we just I think this is like attempt number, sorry y'all, like when I tell you I shoved that food down my throat literally to fight actively against the tears, like sorry. So my bad if a girl has to like burp one time. um but yeah, I sat here for literally 48 hours trying to like cut the episodes together and like cuz there were some parts of the first one that I really loved and then there were some parts of the second one that I really loved and then like I don't know anything about like recording levels and audio and compression and EQ. Like I know nothing about none of this shit. So especially where audio is concerned. Like, I'm literally like on coming to you live from like COVID stipend MacBook, Christmas gift microphone, and like Christmas gift headphones. So it's just like the whole setup is so rudimentary that I'm just kind of like, okay, you know what? And like, we have to work with what we've got. However, what I had for some reason was just not working. And I think I hit a point of frustration where I just decided to start over. So now we're here. We're here and we're here literally like T minus 20 minutes until launch day, like Loki. And yeah, it's a long time coming. So I'm just going to get into it. So this is Getting It Together. I am your host. Sorry, girl. Oh my gosh. I just gave y'all all of that random ass fucking word vomit. My bad, without even introducing myself first, which is kind of diabolical. So hello, my name is Milani. And I'm your host. I'm your hostess. Like, this is my show. Glad you made it. That being said, for some context, I decided to start this initially because I was tired of being depressed and being unemployed. And then also kind of just another piece of like lore from like the canon with which we speak, the canon being the world of this podcast and like all of the different phases that it's gone through, aka like me self-inducing the phases, like, and kind of just doing it all on my own. Like, this is a one-woman show at the end of the day. But yeah, it used to actually be called The Unemployment Diaries because the initial idea came to me about a year out from unemployment. About a year out. Right. Mind y'all, that was last year. Last year was a year out from unemployment, but we'll get there. So anyway, yeah, the idea came to me about a year out from unemployment, and I was really, really bummed. For context, like, actually, as the story goes, we're just going to start from scratch. So I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and I had just moved there. I happened to be one of the people who just gotten like, sorry y'all, like the gas is coming back out. I'm just gonna say that, like, that chicken and french fry combo is 1-2ing my shit really badly, like kind of in an absurd way right now. So I'm really, really sorry. And I would say I can fix it in post, but after literally sitting here for 48 hours and crashing out thrice, I'm just not going to promise anything about anything as far as editing this podcast goes. So, yeah. Anyway, I was living in Los Angeles and I had been like one of the people, just, again, this is all context. Wait, did I even say? I said my name. I did not say. Okay, I'm 26 years old now. That's tough. Yeah. I'm 26 years old now. I literally feel like that Vine, is it a TikTok where, okay, also I did have a yerba mate. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. If we're gonna be honest, I guess we're just gonna be really honest. So apologies I'm sorry if I'm coming at you with a lot right now. I don't have any notes. I'm feeling a little bit manic, and I had a yerba and I had a Thai tea because I wanted to get emotional support boba. Joke was on me, fucked my stomach up crazy. So yeah, now we're here. I'm 26. I'm living in Texas now. But when this story started, I was living in California at the time. So this, and when I even say like this story, the whole point of this podcast, before we even get too far, me saying before we even get too far in, like, Diva, it's been 30 minutes. No, I think it's maybe been 10, but I don't have a timer going, so yeah, no idea. Um, but yeah, I wait. Okay, sorry. I had to pause and like listen back to what I just said because that's how quickly these thoughts are leaving my brain. I promise it'll never be like this again. I'm promising to myself that it'll never be like this again. But the point of what I'm saying is that the idea behind this podcast is that I really wanted to create something for people who have kind of lost their way or like feel like maybe they're set in a way or like they're on autopilot or people who lost their jobs. And for them, like for me, I know that losing my job back when it happened in 2023 equaled me burping off camera. There's no camera running, mind you. I know for me, like losing my job equaled loss of identity. And I know that that is the case for a lot of people. And I think that's actually something that we kind of don't talk about enough, especially in our culture today. And when everyone's talking about how bad the job market is, and everyone's like, I know there's kind of been a little bit of a resurgence of like finding hobbies and finding and like building relationships outside of your coworkers. Like it seems like maybe there's a little bit of a shift in that thinking right now, but I know for a lot of people a job is directly connected to their identity, and I was one of those people. And so when I lost that, I really didn't know what to do. So if I don't know, I wanted to kind of make this as mainly as a journey, as a not a journey, sorry, as a diary logging my own journey of kind of getting back onto my feet and getting my ass TF up, to be honest, because I I did kind of abruptly, I say quote unquote like lose everything, and it's not that dramatic, and I'll explain, like I'll tell the story in a minute, but like I essentially kind of lost my whole way of life, and after that spent a year just being a sad sack in my parents' house, which is fine. Like being a sad sack and mourning the life that you wanted to live is allowed, but I also definitely just feel like I felt like it was time to interrogate why losing my job felt like such a critical blow. And I also felt like it was time to, I don't know, like I felt like it was just time to get up. I felt like I was tired of being sad. I was tired of being broke. Hello. Not that money is everything, but it's not that fun being broke, as I'm sure like isn't news to anybody. And I don't know. I was tired of just not doing anything. My days were unhappy days. Like I was in a little bit of a rut slash, dare I say, even a depression. So yeah, if that sounds familiar, or maybe it doesn't sound familiar to you, maybe it sounds like someone you know, that's kind of what I wanted to do here. I wanted to make just a fully transparent log of the journey to my what will eventually be, okay? Because I'm gonna speak it into existence, and I believe in saying things out loud. But the journey to what I eventually believe will be success as I want success. You know, like obviously success also looks different for different people, but like I just fully intend on really, now that I'm up and now that I'm kind of awake, because I think I was just so asleep for a long time, and it's obviously sad and obviously like depressed and like obviously just going through it. But I think now that I'm out of that mindset, I just fully intend on really taking my life into my own hands. And I think that obviously, like, it sounds really great, but it's not easy, as as proven by literally English, right? As proven by literally me getting on here 5 minutes after shoving food down my throat, halfway in tears, almost. And I got it together real quick. I did. I had to get it together. I really did. But yeah, like obviously that journey is going to look different for everyone, but I just feel like it should be talked about. I don't know. I feel like it should be talked about. I feel like it should be shared. And even though this isn't the unemployment diaries anymore, this is still, and hey, not because I got a job. So I'm like, don't mistake this for me being employed, because I am still currently unemployed. However, I am like starting to freelance and like just picking myself up in that way. And I think just clocking that journey alongside my own journey just as a young woman, like mid 20s, or when I started this, I was like, I was early 20s. So the fact that I'm 26, you know, and aging is beautiful. And honestly, like, no more on that. But yeah, just locking my journey as a young woman and just a young adult, because I know a lot of other young adults are also kind of going through it. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I have finally taken a breath. But that being said, I still don't have any notes. So however this story comes out is however this story comes out. So yeah, 2023, I was working in entertainment. For context on me, I was just one of the people who happened to be lucky and like obviously like worked my ass off, but also was lucky because honestly, and I was working in entertainment slash film industry, and there's like a whole separate conversation to be had about the barrier to entry for the film industry, because one, nobody like ever talks about how 80% of film people who enter that industry are like Nepo, which, you know, like nothing against Nepo, love them, but it's just, there's like an unrealistic precedent that's set that I will talk about, because I'm going to talk about like why I ended up leaving LA and like just job offers I received and how that just wasn't in alignment with the quality of life that I wanted to live, but how we're kind of like forced when working in these certain creative industries to believe that that's like the only way to do it, is this like day in, day out, like struggle that is like actually like loss of life actively. Like you are like losing the most valuable thing that you have, which is like your time and your energy, and like your attention. So yeah, in LA was one of those people who was just lucky enough to get hired right out of school. I'd gotten an internship my senior year and immediately like started working at like my dream company, and honestly still my dream company, like the brand itself. But yeah, was lucky enough to get a job at my dream company. I worked with them for 3 years almost, and yeah, like it was just everything. And like when it was great, it was really great, but I was just so lost in the sauce that, girl, like when the curtain closed on that chapter, it was like weird. Like my mask literally cracked. Cause yeah, I don't know, or for anyone who kind of doesn't know this context, so the film industry and the entertainment industry in general, wait, I can hear someone revving their engine outside and I just don't know like how that's sounding. Back, momentarily like paused because the truck is literally like in the driveway to my house, but they're doing yard work. So yeah. Also, like my computer was breathing heavy and I realized that I could hear it in the microphone. Like I feel like it may have been playing the microphone, which that would be my 14th reason. Like if I go to listen back to this, y'all, and that fucking computer is humming or whatever the fuck that breathe heavy computer sound is, like if that shit is happening, like we can go ahead and cut it, honestly. Damn, and what was I even saying before this? Like I literally had to take like a hiatus because they're like banging shit around outside, and then I did turn my ceiling fan also off because like there's like a bell on it. Sorry, there's a bell on it, and I didn't want that like doing too much. And I just don't know the scope of this mic. Like I feel like I can kind of hear a lot happening in the headphones, but I don't know. Like I don't know what's gonna translate. And after the trauma of the last 48 hours, actually, seriously speaking, I just want as few issues as possible. So, yeah. Anyway, for context on the entertainment industry and for just anyone who is in it, then you're kind of already knowing. But for people who aren't in it, when strikes happen, just like workers' strikes, that is usually an indicator that like things are going to be hellacious for a little while. And in 2023, I don't know if anyone remembers, but there were actually two of them. There was the SAG actors strike, and then there was also the writers strike. So obviously without actors and without writers, like there's no production. So yeah, which honestly, like there's like a whole dissertation to be spoken, to be written, to be done. I don't know. Like there is a whole dissertation to be done on how CEOs in like 2023 and 2024 of these like major entertainment like media companies, production companies, like whatever, like what have you, were clocking like billion-dollar raises like in their salary while thousands of people were getting laid off. But you know, like that's a conversation for another day because we're not even going to pretend that we don't know about that, you know? Yeah, so during that time, I was, the truck. Wait, give me a second. Actually, I'm not even going to stop my shit because they're doing what they're doing. As long as my dog doesn't go crazy, like, we're just going to have to keep it pushing. Because I can't do this again. Like, I can't do this again, you guys. This is literally, like, my fourth re-record of this episode, and yeah, it's been over the course of months, but it has like pushed me further and further to the edge every single time. I'm not even gonna hold you. So yeah, and hey, if there's background noise happening, it's not my business. Oh, but I can hear the computer breathing heavy, and that's annoying, but whatever, that's just what we're on, I guess. Like, she's working hard. And I feel her, because honestly, I'm working hard too. Like, a lot is happening right now, as I feel like we can all tell. But yeah, I was one of the people who unfortunately was laid off like at the end of 2023. And I mean, for me, obviously, I really didn't know how to handle it. And at first, like living in California, I was kind of the mindset that like that lifestyle, like, cause I had like having been like kind of raised in Texas for like all of my like middle school and high school years, I think wanted to get out so bad that once I had California, I was kind of clutching her like I was clutching her pretty fiercely. I'm not even gonna lie. And I think that there was a resistance in there was just such like when I like thinking back on it now, it's just so obvious that like everything that has happened has needed to happen. But at the time, I was like, you're gonna have to pry the city of Los Angeles from like my cold dead hands, and I'm not joking. You know, like that's kind of what it was giving. And I was living with a roommate at the time, and I remember her saying like at the end of our lease, she was going to move back to Texas because she was also from Texas. And I felt so crushed. And I was like, okay, well, I'm definitely not going back with you. Like, I was so adamant about not doing that. And so I was looking for jobs like left and right and up and down. Like, I'm literally out here applying at Aritzia, mind you, because Aritzia in California at least pays $20 an hour, which, bringing back the conversation about film industry wages momentarily, I was just looking for anything, and anything didn't even want me. And I think that was kind of where I started to enter into like slow crash out territory. I was like, damn, not even Aritzia, like damn, not even Starbucks, like damn, like not even, I can't even get a barista job for real. Cause out there, I guess to be a barista, you have to really be on your P and Q, and you have to have your shit on tight, like on sicko mode. But I don't know, like, I don't know what I was thinking, but I do know that I, in holding on to my job, like, I ended up living there, I'm gonna say for like 6 or 7 months, completely unemployed, mind you, which, not to say anything about anything, but my financial management of self was fabulous because I did live in LA with no salary, no dollar to my name, like on a basically a stipend, like a self-made stipend. And hey, didn't have to really change my lifestyle much. Like the way that I had managed my resources until then was so good that I could actually keep going to Sprouts and didn't have to even start going to Trader Joe's for real. So, they're loud out there. I wonder what they're talking about. So yeah, I ended up out there for like 7 months. I applied to, I want to say, like around 300 jobs, like hundreds of jobs. I kid you not, no exaggeration. And eventually I got to a point where I was like, okay, well, I'm overqualified. I've only had like 3 interviews, and these 3 interviews have all been for PA positions where I'm getting paid $2 above California minimum wage, which, also for context, like in my previous job, I'd been making double minimum wage in California. So like, like just to give y'all like a sense of how I was living, it was just not going to make sense. And then going back to my earlier point, it was just not going to make sense to take a PA job where, and for anyone who like kind of also doesn't know this context, PA is production assistant, and this can be in any department, like on a film or television production, or like in a writer's capacity. But oftentimes these jobs, and I know I'm not like the first person to speak about it, and I know I like certainly won't be the last. I believe it was Rolling Stone or maybe the Hollywood Reporter, like somebody with red and black branding that I read just recently did an article actually on how like dire it is being a PA, because just to paint a little bit of a picture for y'all, they're asking for, right, 1 to 2 hour commute in the morning, 1 to 2 hour commute in the evening already. Oftentimes, PA hours are like a normal hours, like set of hours or hours range for a PA is like 8 to 10, 10 to 12 hours. So automatically you're on overtime. You're making $2 above minimum wage. So or at least the 3 positions that I interviewed for out of the hundreds of jobs that I applied to, the 3 positions that I interviewed for, all of them, I think the lowest paying one was paying $17.50, which is $1 above minimum wage. And then the highest paying one was paying, I think, $19.50, if I'm not mistaken. It was something like $19 an hour, like $19.50 an hour, like. And they were offering that for 1 to 12, 14 hours of my day. And not for anything, but even in the situation that I was in, and I know that this is like a reality for a lot of people, and that a lot of people make it work because they also just make the barrier to entry for these creative industries just so like absurd. As like, just as I said, like, I know a lot of people are like really making it work because we're kind of conditioned to want to train this dream. But I think even in that situation, I was like, well, this wouldn't even this wouldn't even be workable for me. Like at the rent rate that I am paying and at the distance that I live from these studios, like it just wouldn't have made sense. And it really sucked. But there was a day where I was struggling like to kind of figure out like how I was going to work all of this out. And what happened? Someone had told me like to watch Past Lives by Celine Song. And I don't know, just like just a moment. And I'm going to take a deep breath before I say this actually, because I need to slow down. A moment for Past Lives. Because I don't know like what Celine Song put in that movie, but that shit upon first watch, like that first watch had me bawling my eyes, like crying my eyes out. Like, and I remember calling my mom and just being like, Mom, like I was literally like, Mom, like I don't want to leave California. Like I'm crying in this lady's ear and she's just silent. Like she's like, she's just letting me do whatever the fuck, like do my thing, I guess. And y'all, I didn't know she was cooking, but when I tell y'all, I was like word for word. So our conversation went like this. I was like, I can't go back home because I'm having a hard time out here, but I feel like I need to have this struggle to be successful. Like, I just feel like nothing in life is free and like, which, okay, brainwashing, okay, capitalism working hard on me because I come from a middle class family, okay? But I was like, I know that like, I have never been in such dire straits, but it feels like I have to be going through this. Like I have to be having this hard of a time. And if that means that like I struggle and I'm just suffering, then so be it. Like I'll do anything for the art type shit. Which, again, I wholeheartedly agree with do anything for the art as an artist, like as a writer myself. But the way that I was speaking about it, like that, the context was not as a writer. The context was as someone who has been kind of told and taught that you have to like pay your way and pay your dues and let people shit on you and like let executives throw coffee on your fucking laptop. Like it's just so toxic. And my mom was like, okay, well, I hear you cooking. She was cooking. I hear you, but what if you don't have to struggle to be great? What if you can just be great? And I was like crying, like literally like, what? Like literally like in tears, like, what? Like, what do you mean? And she was like, I don't know. Like, just what if you don't have to struggle to be great? It sounds like you're getting to a point where you're in a desperate situation. Because mind you, leading up to this, I had to ask them for rent. I had never had to do that because I had a fucking job. I'd had to ask them for that last month of rent because I was like, y'all, I don't got it. I have $0, 0 cent, like for real. And she basically said that because I was in a desperate situation, I was not making decisions with like a clear head and a clear heart, which is true, right? Like when you're in desperate circumstances, you scramble. Like, you don't make decisions with clear head and clear heart. Exhibit A, me continuing to buy my fucking groceries from Sprouts. Like, not really, but you know, like in a sense, that is like just a small, like a minuscule way. And she was like, I think if you come home, the situation won't be so desperate, and you'll really have time to think about what it is that you want to do next. And I know it's not maybe where you want to be figuring it out, but at least you'll have the ability to figure it out without like also having to like go to fucking Starbucks and also have to pay rent and also have to pay your car insurance and also have to pay groceries. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think her saying that brought me back, like, just briefly. It was a flash because I was crying as I packed every single, like, box that I had in my apartment, which also wasn't many boxes because all we had in that hoe was a couch and a table. Like, dead ass. All I had in my room, a bed and a desk. Like, it was not personal. It was not decorated. And that should just give you an idea of, like, how we was living for real. But we were literally in that whole like frat boys, not even on no, not even like on no funny shit. It was giving frat. Um, and yeah, I packed up my little bags, got packed up my little car, and drove my ass to Texas, and got to Texas and was like, wow, like my life is over, OVER, all caps. Like, I don't know why I didn't just stay in LA. Like, I could have, like, it was just like the obsession with the hustle of it all. And like which this is interesting because half of the people that we see in the media are nepotism babies and they don't have to do like the whole suffering thing. Like, it's like starving artist as an image versus starving artist as like an actual lived experience. You know what I mean? And listen, the way I was finna run my shit was literally gonna be like starving artist, the lived experience. Like, there definitely is just a difference. Like, the starving artist TM, like starving artist trademark, they're taking it. Absolutely. And love that for them. Like, love that they can do that. But unfortunately, I could not. And I also just understand that, like, what a blessing to have a home to come back to, because I know that some people couldn't have been turning down jobs. You know what I mean? Like, and are in desperate situations because they have to be. And I am fortunate enough to not be. But point is, it was hard. It was hard letting it go. And I rolled around in the mud for a long time about it, but I don't know. I got tired. I got tired of rolling around in the fucking mud. IDK, the shit stank. Like, so hey, we're up. We're up. We're not up, actually. We're on the way up, in the sense that like if we're talking about peaks and valleys, okay. If we're talking about peaks and valleys, and I was just in the deepest valley that I've experienced in my life thus far, like, hella, that shit was long as fuck, lasted 20 months. Not even gonna hold you. Which is fine. Hey, which is fine. Because that's life, I guess. Sometimes you have a 2-year long valley. But yeah, like on the other end of it, which I think I'm nearing now, there's like something. Like, there's just a little something. There's just a little meadow, if nothing else. It's not the steepest hill, but it's something. And I feel really optimistic. And I just don't think that we see enough optimism. All we do is fucking get on the internet, and all they want to do is talk about how shitty everything is. And I get it. Like, things are shitty. I get it. I get it. Like, it's easy to like lean into the shitty of it all, but also like, I don't know. I think we owe it to ourselves to consume content that kind of just feels a little bit more optimistic, especially when most things kind of have a negative connotation, unless they're like fiction, because obviously like the state of the world is like just just actually a whole other thing that I'm not even going to get into. So yeah, like there's realistic, but I don't know, like this is realistic too. And I'm feeling like really hopeful, and I'm definitely not feeling gathered, especially because like I said, like if we're talking in terms of peaks and valleys, like the valley that I have been in has been overly going. Like that shit has been taking it, and it almost, hey, and it had me down bad. And sometimes it really does still. But I don't know. I'm just like, you know what? Sure. Like maybe there is an other end of the rainbow. Like maybe there is like not another end of the rainbow. Maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Like Loki, I feel like I can see that shit. So yeah, that's me. And now that we've done all of that, I can move on. So I've kind of decided that the way that I'm wanting to structure this, outside of just like discussing what my journey looks like, for example, like finding jobs, or like if I'm finding work, like what that looks like, or like how I'm spending my time, like again, because this is really primarily like a log for myself to kind of, one, stay accountable, but two, like I think it's kind of nice to be able to like go back and look at this journey. I think especially because and I don't even know if I mentioned this, I've re-recorded and done this shit so many times that I can't even tell y'all if I mentioned the disassociation of it all, like in this take. But I think, long story short, like if I'm existing in a state where things are just happening so fast, like I think it's helpful to keep record of just where you are and where you've been in life. And that doesn't always need to be a journal entry, even though journal entries are really great. That just doesn't always need to be a journal entry. And sometimes like I can't fully encompass the things that I'm feeling within a journal entry. Like some people really have it, and I do have it sometimes. Mind you, I'm a writer. I went to school for screenwriting and English, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, we're here. We're getting it together. And if somebody told you you were a loser because you don't have your shit together, then like they suck, and you're not a loser, and it's okay. And it's, trust me, like it's literally not just you, because hey, I've been called a loser my fair share of times, and by that I mean two. But it's weird that it happened twice. What's that meme where they're like, oh fuck, it's like a meme where they're like, I I haven't had this, like I haven't seen this before, or like it's something about, but it's weird that it happened twice. Like I've only seen this twice, but it's weird that it happened. Like if you know what meme I'm talking about, like please like send it to me. But yeah, that being said, I think I'm going to structure this in such a way where we talk about life first, and then we get into what we're on this week, because I'm not even going to pretend that as a person without a job, I don't have time to read books and watch TV. That's just what I'm not going to do. I said we were going to be honest, so we're just going to be honest. So yeah, that being said, what am I watching? Okay. Okay. Like, okay, and this, like for my anime girls, like you'll get it. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And that's okay. Like, because if you get it, you get it. And you don't, you don't. Like, if you don't, you don't. But I recently watched this anime called Lico. It's Licorice Recoil. It's spelled Ly, no, Lyc, wait, Lico Rico. Lycoris, maybe. And then recoil spelled like recoil. And it's just like so Yeah, it's tea. I don't know. If you're an anime girl or guy or gay or they, like if you're just an anime watcher and you haven't seen it, would I kid you not, as and I feel like I am like I'm not going to say I'm the authority on anime because someone would throw hands for that, but I am going to say that like that's probably been my most consumed form of media for several years, I think since I was literally 15 years old. Mind you, I'm 26. So like for over 10 years that has been like my primary. Oh my gosh, I think there's an ice cream truck. That's been like the main thing. And because of that, I found that I have like struggled to just find new ones or find ones that I like haven't seen or haven't started or like haven't at least heard of. And I'd actually like added this one to my list like a while back. I think it came out in like 2023. Recently watched it. That shit is tea. It's basically about like schoolgirls, but they're like, and I know, and hey, I know, I get it. Like, if it's not your tea, it's not your tea, whatever. But it's basically about like schoolgirls, and they're like CIA agents. And I don't know, like, at first I thought it was really silly, but as I progressed further and further into it, I was just like, something about this is kind of unmatched. Like it's just kind of unmatched. I don't know. It quickly slid into place among my favorite anime of all time. So maybe it'll slide into place among yours. And if you're not into anime, it might honestly still be like a really fun watch. Like if you're open to animated series, because I'm also just like a huge fan of like adult animation. Um, so yeah, if that's also something that you're open to, then would recommend that. And what else? What else? Reading. What am I reading? What did I just read? Oh, I'm reading Quicksilver, which, meh. So I'm actually not even gonna recommend that. But what I will recommend is, oh, I will recommend My Lady Jane on Amazon. Yeah, I will recommend My Lady Jane. Um, and like insert spiel about that here because I actually had a previously recorded spiel about it that I really liked. So I'm gonna if I y'all if I can figure this editing shit out, like that shit's gonna go here. So yeah. So for context, I started watching this show because of the podcast Even the Royals. It is a Wondery podcast. I like it. Um because I've been trying the reason I started that podcast was because I was trying to teach myself like or learn more about history and I realized that like I just like that podcasts present information in a way that feels accessible to me. So, yeah, I started listening to Even the Royals I think like over like maybe a month ago, month and a half ago. They had this episode on this show, My Lady Jane. I've been trying to get back into live action after being into anime shit for so long and like cartoons just in general. Like, I love cartoons. I love adult animation. I love like animated series. The Amazing World of Gumball is one of my favorite shows of all time. Like, I just love that shit. Point is, this podcast was talking about My Lady Jane. I was thinking to myself, you know what? You need a reintroduction to live action. I like crisp, funny, witty. Like, I like shows like that. I like things that kind of surround royalty or are maybe in a like very strong and defined world, which period pieces often are because they are period and that world is defined. And I hope that made sense because I know that we're saying period these days as like something else, but like I meant period as in like period piece. Anyway, um, oh, and that shit is just so good. It's literally about like Lady Jane Grey. It is kind of her story of like how she came into power, and then it's obviously dramatized and like it's in a magical world because they add the element of some people being humans and then some people being these things called Ethians, which are people who can turn into animals, which I think is very fucking cool. It's literally giving that book, you know, the book series
Y'all know the book series that when we were little and it would always have like the animal transforming into a person. What the fuck was that shit called? Wait. Pause for research cuz I'm going to look this up right now. Oh my gosh. This is it. OMG. And I remember seeing these in the library. Animorphs. That's literally what the shit was called, Animorphs. I never read that shit. I'm seeing this blonde bitch turn into a bear. Listen, if you. Oh, this is so crazy. Looking at this boy turning into a python. Like, what? Like, what were these books? Literally, what were these books, y'all? Like, what were these books? Anyway, so the show basically has a species of person that are animorphs. And it's just, I'm not even going to get into it too much, but it has like some romance. It's a little sexy. It's very like smart slapstick sort of British-ish humor. So if you like that, would recommend 1,000 times over. So good.
And then oh my gosh. And then I also decided, because I recently logged back into my old, like middle school Instagram. Hella thought that shit was like deleted. Literally thought I would never see it again. And honestly, am gonna re-deactivate it because kind of traumatic. But in the spirit of that era, I am gonna be doing Woman Crush Wednesdays and Man Crush Mondays. Since today is Wednesday, I'm gonna lead with that. So my Woman Crush Wednesday, honestly, because I just looked up at my vision board because it's right in front of my face, like I'm gonna say Solange because she's actually on there twice. And Solange. Yeah, we're just gonna say Solange, like Diva Fab. Um, and then my Man Crush Monday. Ooh, who's my Man Crush Monday? Like, oh my gosh. I was on Instagram like a few days ago, and I'm also taking a break. Like, I haven't been on TikTok in weeks, so maybe more to come on that, like, eventually. But yeah, I was on Instagram and I saw Benito Skinner post, and I just love him. I love him. He's like, and for those of you who don't know, he did the show Overcompensating on what is that shit called? Wait, is the show even called Overcompensating? I think the show is called Overcompensating, and it's on Amazon Prime. And he he's just so tea. Like, he's so fucking funny, and honestly, like, I'm obsessed with him. So yeah, that's my Man Crush Monday. Benito Skinner. Watch Overcompensating on Prime. Also, if you haven't seen it yet, honestly, that's going on recommendations of the week, like things that we're into. And then the song, what's that shit called? Oh, the song Thick Skull, re Julian Baker. Yeah, Thick Skull by Paramore, re Julian Baker. Been obsessed. Been listening to that on like Apple Music. Cause yeah, that shit is tea. Yeah. And yeah, I think that that's and something's happening outside. So, and my dog's scratching at the door. So honestly, like, we're just gonna cut it. Like, we're gonna cut it. But listen, you're not a loser. Like, it's okay. Like, that you don't have everything figured out. There's just so much life to be excited about, and I'm excited, and I hope that you're excited. And I think that we should just be excited together. And yeah, I look forward to. Okay. And my dog is getting more aggressive at the door. So, like, fine, he's cutting off my speech. But the point is, yeah, I'm excited to get into this journey. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.